Imagine a world profoundly different from our own, a vast expanse gripped by an unimaginable cold, where towering glaciers carved landscapes and the very air bitten with the frost of a planetary winter. In this epic prehistoric canvas, colossal creatures like the woolly mammoth, with their shaggy coats and immense tusks, and formidable saber-toothed cats roamed unchallenged, their existence dictated by the rhythm of ice and ancient plains. It's a world that seems almost mythical, a distant echo from a time when the Earth itself was being reshaped by immense geological forces. Yet, nestled within this stark frozen reality is one of humanity's most compelling tales of survival and extraordinary adaptation. The story of the first Americans, often referred to as the Paleo-Indians. These weren't just resilient survivors, they were the pioneering spirit of our species, venturing into an entirely new hemisphere, across immense distances and through some of the harshest conditions imaginable. Their journey and subsequent flourishing during the last glacial maximum, the peak of the last ice age, represents a pinnacle of human ingenuity and tenacity. The prevailing scientific consensus, supported by a wealth of archaeological discoveries and genetic evidence, places their origins firmly in Asia, with their arrival in North America occurring in stages, predominantly within a window of approximately 16,000 to 13,000 years ago. This wasn't a casual stroll. It was a profound migration into an unknown continent, driven by necessity and an innate human drive to explore and find resources. The very ground they trod was fundamentally different from today. Vast portions of what are now submerged coastlines were exposed land, and immense ice sheets, miles thick in places, covered much of Canada and parts of the northern United States. This radically altered geography included the famous Bering Land Bridge, a crucial pathway that connected Siberia to what is now Alaska. It was across this ancient land, exposed during periods of lower sea levels when much of the Earth's water was locked up in glacial ice, that these intrepid groups made their way. Their arrival wasn't just a geographical milestone, it marked the dawn of human presence in the Americas, setting the stage for thousands of years of rich and diverse cultural development. Understanding how they not only survived but genuinely carved out a life in such an unforgiving environment provides invaluable insight into the sheer resilience of our species and the remarkable ability of early humans to read, understand, and ultimately master their environment, no matter how daunting. Their story is a testament to the enduring spirit of exploration and the profound human capacity for innovation under the most extreme pressures. The epic entry into the Americas by these ancient pioneers was not a simple stroll, but a monumental undertaking, facilitated by a truly unique geological phenomenon, the Bering Land Bridge, or Beringia. This wasn't merely a narrow strip of land. During the peak of the last ice age, when vast quantities of the Earth's water were locked away in immense continental glaciers, global sea levels plummeted by hundreds of feet. What is now the shallow Bering Strait between Siberia and Alaska transformed into a vast unglaciated landmass, thousands of miles wide in places. This expansive plain, often described as a tundra steppe environment, stretched for hundreds of miles north to south, creating a crucial pathway that lay exposed for millennia. It was across this ancient, now submerged land that the ancestors of Native Americans began their extraordinary journey. Evidence suggests that their passage was not a single, mass migration, but likely occurred in waves, with groups following herds of Megafauna, their primary food source, into new, resource-rich territories. These weren't sudden, hurried dashes, but rather a gradual expansion, with some groups possibly residing in Beringia itself for extended periods, perhaps thousands of years, adapting to its unique ecology before continuing eastward. This concept of a Beringian standstill, or Beringian incubation model, is a compelling theory, suggesting that genetic diversification occurred within this isolated landmass before further dispersal into the Americas. As the ice sheets began to recede, particularly the massive Cordilleran and Laurentide ice sheets that once blocked access further south, corridors opened up, allowing these groups to move deeper into the North American continent. One of the most significant of these was the ice-free corridor, a potential inland route that emerged between the retreating glaciers. However, recent archaeological and genetic evidence also points strongly to a coastal migration route as a highly probable, if not primary, path. This scenario suggests that early peoples, equipped with rudimentary watercraft, may have skirted the Pacific coastline, moving southward along what is now the drowned continental shelf, a journey that would have offered abundant marine resources even when inland routes were impassable. Regardless of the exact route or timing, whether via an inland corridor, a coastal journey, or a combination of both, this momentous passage marked the true colonization of an untouched hemisphere. It was a testament to the explorers' profound knowledge of their environment, their ability to navigate vast, challenging landscapes, and their unwavering drive to seek out new horizons. This journey was not just a physical movement, it was the genesis of new cultures, new languages, and a profound connection to the land that would shape the destiny of countless generations to come. In the unforgiving grip of the Ice Age, where temperatures plummeted and survival was a daily struggle, the Paleo-Indians distinguished themselves as unparalleled masters of the hunt, honing skills that allowed them to thrive amidst a world populated by truly colossal creatures. Their primary sustenance, the very bedrock of their existence, came from the pursuit and harvesting of the Megafauna, the gigantic mammals that dominated the prehistoric landscape. Imagine facing down a woolly mammoth, a beast standing over 10 feet tall at the shoulder, weighing up to 8 tons, covered in thick fur and armed with formidable, curving tusks, or encountering the equally imposing mastodon, a slightly smaller but equally dangerous proboscidean, adapted to forest environments. Beyond these giants, herds of ancient bison, much larger than their modern descendants, roamed the vast plains, alongside formidable giant ground sloths, saber-toothed cats, and even various species of camelids and horses that once flourished in North America. The ability to successfully hunt these massive animals was not merely a matter of strength. It demanded an intricate understanding of animal behavior, advanced tracking skills, profound patience, and, crucially, sophisticated weaponry and cooperative strategies. Archaeological discoveries have unearthed compelling evidence of their hunting prowess, most notably the distinctive Clovis points. These fluted lance-shaped stone projectile points, meticulously crafted with unparalleled skill, were hafted onto spears, turning them into potent tools capable of penetrating the thick hides and muscle of the largest game. While direct confrontation with an enraged mammoth would have been suicidal, these early hunters likely employed ingenious tactics. This could have involved stampeding herds into natural traps like ravines or bogs, where their mobility was hampered, making them more vulnerable. Alternatively, they might have targeted solitary or injured animals, or perhaps the young, less experienced members of a herd. The communal aspect of these hunts cannot be overstated. Individual bravery was undoubtedly present, but success often hinged on coordinated group efforts, where multiple hunters worked in unison to outmaneuver and bring down their prey. Every part of the slain animal was meticulously utilized, a testament to their deep respect for resources and their profound understanding of efficiency. The meat provided essential calories and protein, critical for warmth and energy in a frigid climate. The thick hides were processed into robust clothing and coverings for shelters, offering vital protection against the elements. Bones and antlers were fashioned into a diverse array of tools, awls for piercing, needles for sewing, and even specialized implements for hide preparation. Sinews were used for cordage, and even the fat was rendered for fuel or food preservation. Their survival was intricately linked to the abundance of these magnificent beasts, making the Paleo-Indians truly the ultimate hunters of the Ice Age. The remarkable survival of the Paleo-Indians in the face of the Ice Age's harsh realities was not solely a testament to their strength or courage, but equally to their profound intelligence and an extraordinary capacity for technological innovation. Lacking access to metals, these early North Americans became masters of materials readily available in their environment: stone, bone, antler, and wood. Their craftsmanship elevated mere natural objects into sophisticated instruments, each meticulously designed for a specific purpose, collectively forming the bedrock of their daily existence and enabling their incredible adaptability. At the forefront of their technological achievements were their lithic tools, meaning those made from stone. The iconic Clovis point, already mentioned for its hunting efficacy, serves as a prime example of their advanced flint-knapping skills. These points, characterized by their distinctive flute, or channel, required a precise and complex manufacturing process, demonstrating a deep understanding of fracture mechanics and material properties. They weren't simply chipped into shape, they were expertly thinned, sharpened, and designed to be securely hafted onto spear shafts, ensuring maximum penetration and efficiency against formidable prey. Beyond these spear points, their toolkit included a variety of other expertly crafted stone implements, sharp knives for butchering, robust scrapers for preparing animal hides, a crucial step for clothing and shelter, and versatile choppers for breaking bones or processing wood. Each flake struck from a stone core was intentional, part of a calculated sequence to produce a functional and durable tool. However, their ingenuity extended far beyond stone. The bones, antlers, and ivory from the very animals they hunted were transformed into an array of essential items. Needles, finely crafted from bone, complete with an eye, revolutionized the creation of warm, fitted clothing, a critical defense against the biting cold. Awls, also fashioned from bone or antler, were indispensable for punching holes in hides for stitching. Harpoons, made from antler, indicate their skill in fishing, diversifying their food sources. Even the seemingly simple act of creating cordage from plant fibers or animal sinew speaks volumes about their knowledge of materials and their ability to weave and tie. These were not just crude implements, they were precision instruments for their time, reflecting a deep understanding of physics, mechanics, and material science, all learned through generations of trial and error, observation, and transmission of knowledge. The technological prowess of the Paleo-Indians highlights their profound cognitive abilities and their unique capacity to modify their environment and extract resources in a highly effective manner. It underscores that human survival in extreme conditions is often less about brute force and more about the power of the mind to innovate and create solutions, transforming raw materials into the very means of existence in a challenging and unforgiving world. Their tools were not just objects, they were extensions of their will to survive, enabling them to navigate, hunt, and thrive in an ice-covered land. In the relentless grip of the Ice Age, where temperatures routinely plunged far below freezing and blizzards could rage for days, the Paleo-Indians' survival hinged upon their extraordinary ability to create effective barriers against the pervasive cold. Without the sophisticated heating systems or insulated structures we take for granted today, their ingenuity in crafting protective clothing and robust shelters was nothing short of astonishing. Their primary resource for warmth came directly from the animals they hunted, particularly the thick insulating hides of Megafauna and smaller fur-bearing creatures. Far from simply wrapping themselves in raw skins, these early Americans mastered complex processes of hide preparation. They understood the nuances of tanning, scraping, and stretching to transform stiff raw hides into pliable, durable, and highly insulative materials. Imagine the meticulous work involved in preparing a mammoth hide, or the careful removal of fur from Arctic foxes, wolves, or caribou. From these prepared hides, they fashioned multi-layered clothing systems that provided optimal warmth and protection against wind, snow, and rain. Archaeological evidence combined with ethnographic studies of later indigenous groups in Arctic regions suggest they wore fitted garments, tunics, trousers, hooded parkas, and even specialized footwear designed to trap warmth and repel moisture. These were not mere drapes, they were sewn garments, a testament to their bone needles and sinew thread, creating seals against the elements and allowing for unrestricted movement during hunting and daily activities. The layering was crucial. An inner layer might have been designed to wick away moisture, while outer layers, perhaps from thicker, oilier hides, provided a waterproof and windproof shell. Fur was strategically positioned for maximum insulation, especially around openings like wrists, ankles, and faces. Beyond their mobile, personal insulation, their shelters provided vital, albeit temporary, respite from the brutal climate. While not permanent structures, these were intelligently designed to maximize warmth and minimize exposure. Many likely constructed dome-shaped huts or tents, similar to teepees or yurts, using wooden poles or mammoth bones as frames, then covering them with multiple layers of animal hides. Crucially, some of these shelters were partially excavated into the ground, creating a shallow pit that provided natural insulation from the Earth's stable temperature, a concept still employed in some cold-weather dwellings today. The entrance would often be small and covered, acting as a windbreak. Inside, animal furs and hides would line the ground, providing bedding and an extra layer of insulation from the frozen earth. Central to these shelters, and indeed to their very survival, was the controlled use of fire. Fire not only provided essential warmth for living spaces, but also allowed for cooking, processing tools, and deterring predators. The smoke hole, carefully designed to vent smoke while retaining heat, demonstrates a sophisticated understanding of airflow and thermodynamics. The ability to consistently generate and maintain fire in an era before matches or lighters underscores yet another facet of their incredible resourcefulness. Their mastery of both personal attire and environmental shelters allowed these pioneers to face down the harshest conditions, transforming a seemingly uninhabitable world into a home. Beyond their individual skills and the impressive technology they developed, the ultimate key to the Paleo-Indians' enduring survival and successful expansion across the Americas lay in their profound understanding and practice of community and cooperation. In an environment as unforgiving and resource-demanding as the Ice Age, solitary existence would have been virtually impossible. These were not scattered individuals, but highly organized social groups whose collective intelligence and shared labor provided a resilience that no single person could ever achieve. Imagine the immense challenge of bringing down a formidable woolly mammoth or a herd of giant bison. Such endeavors were not acts of individual heroism, but meticulously planned and executed group efforts. Success in hunting large game required coordinated movements, precise communication, and a shared understanding of strategy. From tracking the animals to coordinating the final approach and ensuring the safe butchering and transport of the carcass. The distribution of the kill was equally important, ensuring that all members of the group, including the young, the elderly, and those who could not actively hunt, received sustenance. This equitable sharing was fundamental to the group's cohesion and long-term viability, fostering a sense of mutual dependency and responsibility. The benefits of cooperation extended far beyond the hunt. The construction and maintenance of shelters, whether temporary hide tents or more robust semi-subterranean dwellings, often required multiple hands. Gathering vital resources like firewood, water, or specific types of stone for tools was more efficient and safer when undertaken collectively. Moreover, the exchange of knowledge and skills was paramount. Complex techniques for flint knapping, hide preparation, tracking, and understanding the movements of game were not innate. They were learned, practiced, and refined over generations, passed down from elders to the young. This intergenerational transfer of expertise ensured that vital survival strategies were not lost but rather strengthened and adapted. Decision-making within these groups, whether regarding migration routes, hunting locations, or the division of labour, would likely have been a communal process, relying on experience, wisdom, and consensus. Social bonds, undoubtedly reinforced through shared hardship and success, provided psychological support, mitigated fear, and fostered a sense of belonging in a vast and often terrifying landscape. The sick, the injured, and the very young were cared for by the group, demonstrating a level of empathy and social complexity that underpins the very definition of humanity. In essence, the Paleo-Indians understood that their collective strength vastly outweighed the sum of their individual parts. Their ability to organize, communicate, share, and support one another transformed a perilous world into one where they could not only endure but thrive, laying the intricate social and cultural foundations that would blossom into the diverse and rich societies of the indigenous peoples of the Americas. As the colossal ice sheets that once dominated the northern continents began their slow, inevitable retreat, a profound transformation swept across the globe, fundamentally altering the world that the Paleo-Indians had so ingeniously mastered. This shift marked the end of the last ice age and the onset of the Holocene epoch, a period characterized by a gradual warming of the climate, rising sea levels, and dramatic changes in ecosystems. The vast grasslands and tundras, once home to herds of megafauna, began to give way to sprawling forests and new environmental niches. With this monumental climatic transition, the very landscape that had shaped their way of life for millennia began to transform, necessitating another, equally profound adaptation from these resilient pioneers. The megafauna, upon which their hunting strategies had so heavily relied, the mammoths, mastodons, and giant bison, faced their own challenges, ultimately leading to their extinction. This presented the Paleo-Indians with a pivotal moment. demanding an evolution in their subsistence strategies. Rather than succumbing to these environmental pressures, these incredibly adaptable people demonstrated an unparalleled capacity for innovation once more. They diversified their diets, increasingly focusing on smaller game, fish, birds, and a wider array of wild plants and berries. New tools emerged, such as the atlatl spear thrower, for increased hunting range and efficiency, grinding stones for processing plant foods, and specialized fishing implements. Over thousands of years, as the warming trend continued and specific regions developed unique flora and fauna, these early societies branched out, developing distinct cultural practices, languages, and belief systems tailored to their local environments. From the vast plains of the Midwest to the dense forests of the East, the arid deserts of the Southwest, and the rich coastal regions, diverse groups emerged, each with their own unique adaptations and social structures. This process of regional diversification laid the foundational groundwork for the myriad of complex and vibrant Native American cultures that would flourish across the North and South American continents for millennia. The legacy of these original Americans is far more than just a testament to their survival against the elements. It is a profound narrative of human resilience, intellectual prowess, and an inherent drive to explore and adapt. Their journey from Asia, their mastery of Ice Age hunting, their technological innovations, their clever solutions for warmth and shelter, and their deeply cooperative social structures all speak to an enduring human spirit. They were not merely inhabitants of a harsh world, but active shapers of their destiny, leaving behind archaeological footprints that tell a story of incredible ingenuity and an intimate connection to the land. This deep-rooted heritage continues to resonate today, reminding us of the rich and complex history of the indigenous peoples of the Americas, a history defined by adaptability, profound ecological knowledge, and an unwavering spirit that continues to inspire. Their story is a powerful reminder that human ingenuity, when coupled with community and respect for the natural world, can overcome even the most formidable challenges